Alright guys, I haven't made a video in a while, at least about Alabama football, and I want to do that because we have the Alabama versus LSU game coming up. And this is kind of like a little update slash preview, but not really a preview, more like me just giving some of my early thoughts on the matchup. So of course we got Alabama number one in the nation, according to the committee's poll, and LSU number 12. Coming into this matchup, as you all know by now, LSU it's been on a winning streak since Coach Ed Orgeron came in and took over. Program that implemented not necessarily new schemes on offense, but have just become less predictable. It's not so much that they changed up the offense, more so like they are executing better, according to Nick Saban. And I can see that as well in the game against Ole Miss, Missouri. Uh, all in all, I would just like to say, even though they look better, I'm still not impressed. I actually think that the biggest threat to Alabama's season this year, for the rest of the regular season at least, is Auburn. Uh, I think they are right now a better team than LSU. They beat them when they weren't that good of a team, and now they're better. Uh, Auburn's leading the SEC in rushing, and their defense has been playing great since the beginning of the season. Or I should say, they at least been getting their opponents to where they need them to be. LSU, on the other hand, of course, they always play pretty good defense. Dave Ronda's been doing a great job picking up where they left off and making them better in some areas. On offense, they, of course, we know the weapons. They have Leonard Fournette. Danny Etlin's the quarterback, took over uh, since Coach Oldham came in. They have Malachi Dupree and a few others, talented receivers, basically. And as usual, they've always had talent. And that's why I'm not afraid of LSU USA. I think coming in as we get down to this stretch end of the season with games like LSU and Auburn, it comes down to line of scrimmage, offensive line, defensive line play, uh, and that influences other factors in the game, such as quarterback needing to make passes down the field, such as if the secondary needs to help out in the run, and all that area. And at the end of the day, I think that Alabama has the advantage at the line of scrimmage. And this is not a prediction. This is not even a full preview video. I'm just, like I said, this is the extra thought, pre-thoughts on the game. I think LSU is going to have to not only execute at the line of scrimmage, but they're going to have to be more physical. I know what you're going to say. LSU plays Alabama pretty close. It's a division rival game, and so you always have to look out for that. And I'm not going to discount that because since Coach O's been in, they have played more inspired football. They seem to they want to win for him. He's really brought it out of them. I think he's done a great job of that. Whether that would be enough, I don't think so. Um, and we'll dive more into it. I've been watching a little bit of LSU. I've actually been watching. I've been comparing LSU and Auburn's game against Ole Miss. Gonna look at some more of that Missouri game. Gonna look at the game they had in between there. But I'll get back to you on that. Right now, I don't think LSU jumped that much in terms of their ability on the offensive line from last year. A lot of people thought their line from last year was one of the best in the nation. And when they came against Alabama, they got stymied. Leonard Fournette had 31 yards. I don't expect Leonard Fournette to rush for 100 yards. I don't expect him to catch a lot of passes that go for a lot of yards in this game. But I'm saying that their offensive line is going to lose the battle on the line of scrimmage. I also believe that Alabama's offensive line is better than last year's offensive line. I've been saying it all year. I don't know if you've been paying attention. But the pass protection for Alabama's offensive line has been great. The run blocking seems to be much more efficient. That is great. And I think a lot of that is attributed to Jonah Williams, a true freshman right tackle. Because last year, and if you're honest, when you're looking at it, I can't even remember his name right now because Jonah Williams is playing so great. But our right tackle from last year, who ironically still got a chance in the NFL, probably because he's so strong and was good at run blocking. Oh, Dominique Jackson. He was a liability at right tackle. He was a liability in pass protection. Dominique Jackson was. Jonah Williams has come in and proven to be a great player from the beginning, playing much better than he did, and that made the whole line gel together. There's a lot of times when Jalen Hurts takes the snap and steps back, and he has all day to throw. Now, whether or not he consistently hits the receivers down the field on time and with the correct timing, that's another issue. But he has the time to throw, and not to mention that the run blocking seems to be more cohesive. Last year, Derrick Henry had to make a few things happen. He used his ability to get in there, and every once in a while they'll blow open a hole, and they allowed him to get some the yards. But the run blocking wasn't as consistent. This year, they're much more consistent. I believe our offensive line wins the battle against LSU's defensive line. I know they have Arden Key, and as always, like I said, they always have talent. But this line's better. And we won on the line of scrimmage last year, and if the line is better, more than likely they'll win again. Another key thing to look out for, too, is that Minkah Fitzpatrick will be moving from slot corner to safety. I remember there was some reports of that right after the game against Texas A&M, and it turns out to be true. He's been practicing at the safety spot during the bye week. Also during the bye week, Jalen Hurts and receivers have taken some time out together and been practicing their timing after practice. They've been getting together and throwing, which is encouraging. It's good, and that's a sign of a leader. That's a good thing for Jalen to take the time to actually sit and throw with the receivers developing timing. That's very important. So with Jalen doing that and with the defense adjusting, it's now going to be interesting to see who starts at the opposite corner spot of of Marlon Humphrey in the base package, and who is going to be in Minkah's spot in the nickel package, because he was the slot corner. So who's going to be in the slot? I don't know. I know in the dime, Ronnie Harrison has been working out the dime back. Tony Brown's been working out the other corner spot. I wonder if Anthony Avery will move to the slot corner in nickel. So I wonder will it be on the outside, Marlon Humphrey, Tony Brown, and Anthony Avery at slot, which I would be happy with because Anthony Avery's been playing well, especially on the outside. I wonder how he would do in the slot. He is very fast. That'll be very interesting. So that's something to watch for, actually. Like I said, LSU has tall receivers. I would be more concerned if Danny Etling was Chad Kelly with his arm strength and ability to push the ball down the field and just make great plays with his receivers. But LSU receiving core doesn't scare me. I mean, I'm with Alabama, I'm not really scared of anything because I trust Nick Saban's game planning, but they don't strike the fear into the defense like Chad Kelly and his receivers would. And so that's something to look out for. Can LSU's passing game take advantage of the shuffle in the Alabama secondary now that Eddie Jackson is hurt? That's something to look out for. Can LSU's offensive line win at the line of scrimmage and get Leonard Fournette going? That's something to look and protect Danny Etling. This pass rush for Alabama has been crazy, leading the nation in sacks. We're leading the nation in sacks right now with 32. So can the LSU offensive line hold up? Can the LSU defensive line beat the improved Alabama offensive line in pass protection and in run blocking? Can the LSU defensive line do that? Can they hold up, or will they be run over? Will the LSU DBs need to come help out in the run and leave Alabama receivers on the island, or will they be able to step back and play more coverage? They're talented in the DB department. Tre'Davious White, Jamal Adams. I can't think of the other young corner they have on the other side, but he's pretty good as well. These are matchups, and I'm going to get into my prediction / preview of it as we get closer to the game day. Thanks for paying attention.